think I got it. Yeah, we got it. We got it. We're good. Wait, do you have the mic off or on?
What's that?
Oh, we're picking up from that one. Is that one on?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yes, we're getting audio.
They're afraid to come close because they know I'm going to be obnoxious.
Oh, yeah.
How are you? Good. It's Coach Freed's wife.
Huh?
Coach Freed's wife.
Gentlemen, remove your caps. Veterans may render a salute for the playing of tonight's national anthem.
National anthem here from Halls High School as we get set for game number 3 for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats. Oak Ridge comes in with a record of 1-1. They have a loss to Maryville in the opening ball game. They knocked off the same Halls Red Devil team on yesterday, actually, by a score of 5-0. And we've got a pitcher's duel. Coach Free was telling me before the ball game. Let me run down the starting lineups. First off for the visiting Wildcats, leading things off and playing center field will be Warren East. Batting second will be the catcher, Parker Free. Batting third will be the pitcher, UT commit Mikey Teasley. Batting cleanup will be the first baseman, Cam Welch. Batting fifth will be the designated hitter for the Wildcats. That'll be Peyton Witter. He'll be hitting for Tri Sharp today, who will be playing second base. Batting sixth will be the right fielder, Richie Ferreira. Batting seventh will be the left fielder, Cy Stevens. Batting eighth will be the third baseman, Carson Fagan. And batting ninth will be the shortstop, Noah Wood. For the Halls Red Devils, leading things off for them will be Colby Comparto. He'll be playing second base. Batting second will be the right fielder, Hudson Burnett. Batting third will be the pitcher, Fisher Green, who's warming up in front of us as we speak. Amari Lefko will bat fourth. He is the third baseman. Cooper Faust is batting fifth. He is the center fielder. Batting sixth will be the first baseman, Dylan Bowser. Batting seventh will be the designated hitter, Rylan Murphy. We're about to get underway here from Halls High School, our first broadcast of Oak Ridge High School baseball this season. It'll be Warren East leading things off for the Wildcats. Warren hit a home run yesterday in the win over the Halls Red Devils. Right-handed hitter, sophomore, steps in, batting from the right side. Fisher Green, the wind, the pitch, and the game is underway. The ball's hit well to the gap. It's going to go all the way to the wall, take one hop off the wall. Rounding first and hitting from second is Warren East, and he is in with a stand-up double. So a great start for the Wildcats. A leadoff double on the very first pitch of the ball game. Wow. As the Wildcats, Parker Free's going to step in now for Oak Ridge. Good start for the Wildcats, wearing their black tops with their white baseball pants with white and cardinal numerals. The Red Devils wearing their predominantly white jerseys with red. East takes a short lead off of second base. Checking the runner, and the pitch to the plate is a fastball right down the middle, belt high, and the count is 0-1. Like Woody's doing our camera work, his first baseball game, so it's going to take him a little bit to get used to it. These guys from Hawaii, they don't know much about baseball. Right-handed hitter, Parker steps back in. Fisher Green working from the stretch, checks Warren at second, takes a good lead, and the pitch to the plate looked a little high and outside, but is called a strike. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Just underway here from Halls High School. Thank you for watching on our YouTube channel, our first baseball game of the year. Parker behind in the count 0-2. Pitch. Hit hard in the left field. That's a base hit. Here comes Warren East. He's coming around third. He's going to come to the plate. Here's the throw, and he is in safely. And the Wildcats take a 1-0 lead on the Parker Free RBI single, advancing to second. And that's an RBI for Parker and a run scored for Warren East. So a good start for the Wildcats in this district ball game. And just like that, the Halls coach is going to go out and talk to his pitcher, Fisher Green. Great start for the Wildcats, Blake.
That was impressive. I did not expect this to start like that.
Well, this is Blake is new to Oak Ridge baseball. We had a very fine season last year, going all the way to the state tournament, and at Murfreesboro, as we will be doing with basketball in the next 2 weeks or so. Of course, the Lady Wildcats will play their first game on Thursday. They'll be in action against Bartlett High School out of the Memphis area. The boys will be in action a week from this Thursday when they take on Walker Valley.
Here we go, Mike. Here we go, Mike.
Right-handed hitter. Mikey Teasley steps in. Sorry, technical issue with our audio here. We'll work on that here in a second. Runner at second base. Pitch. Pitch comes high and tight, and it's called a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 1-0 Wildcats district action here from Halls High School. Mikey Teasley wearing his orange shoes, commit to the University of Tennessee. Right-handed pitcher checks the runner at second. The 1-strike pitch is hit in the line past the second baseman, coming around third, and in to score another run from the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats, and that is Tim Britton scoring the run for the Wildcats, and Oak Ridge has a 2-0 lead. The ball was hit right on the button off the glove of the second baseman, and the Wildcats now lead it by a score of 2-0. And so far, Fisher has not retired a batter. Now the batter will be Camden Welch, left-handed hitter. Runner takes his lead off at first. All 3 batters for the Wildcats have hit the ball hard. Over to first and back safely to the bag. We'll go to the base runner for the Wildcats. Wildcats have a courtesy runner for Teasley in at first. The pitch to the plate is on the inside corner at the belt for a called strike. 2-0. Great start for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge jumped on them pretty early in yesterday's ball game, taking a 2-0 lead early. Ended up winning 5-0 at Bobby Hopkins. Good lead at first. Fisher Green checks the runner at first. And the runner is going. The pitch is low and outside, and that's going to be a stolen base. So the Wildcats have another runner in scoring position and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 2 runs in already for the Wildcats. Welch, an even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Fix the audio.
You just said it sounds weird.
Yeah, it's probably picking up. Okay. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch to the plate. Hit in the air. On the infield. Shortstop angling out into shallow left field. He makes the catch for out number 1. Peyton Witter's the batter now. He's the designated hitter in the ball game today. He's a right-handed hitting senior, hitting for the second baseman, Tri Sharp. 1 out, 2 in. Runner at second base. Pitch, down low, a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Pretty good crowd on hand here at Hall. It's a beautiful day. We've had some really cold weather games. First game for sure, the Marable ball game. Witter steps back in. Ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch, outside and low, 2 balls and no strikes. We'll try to fix our audio when we get an opportunity to. 2 balls, no strikes, runner at second.
Peyton steps back in. 2-0 pitch. That's up high. Kind of a little above the letters, and the count is 3 balls and no strikes. Wildcats trying to win their second district game. They won yesterday's game, as I mentioned, 5-0. Green checks the runner once again, working from the stretch. The first 3 batters smacked it pretty good. And that pitch is a called strike on the outside half of the plate, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Like Will Presley's in the house today. Peyton steps back in, right-handed hitting senior. And the 3-1 pitch. That's outside, ball 4. So Wildcats have another base runner. And down the first will go Peyton. And the batter now will be Richie Pereira. Richie steps in, batting from the left side. A lot of these guys obviously were on that state tournament team a year ago. Went all the way to Murfreesboro. Runners at first and second. 2 runs in here in the top of the first inning. Here on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Batting from the left side, facing the right-handed throwing Green. Pitch low and inside. Richie tells the runner at second to hang there. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Like I said, this is our first baseball game. It'll take me and Blake a little while to get going. I used to have been doing basketball for so long. And continuing basketball for the next 2 weeks of the state tournament. Here's the pitch. That's a called strike at the knees, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Andy Hudson, the courtesy runner at second base. Peyton Witter, the runner at first for the Wildcats. Back in the box goes Richie. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 in, 2 on. Pitch, cut on and missed. Fastball, and the count is 1-2. Blake Woody doing our camera work. Like I said, this is his first baseball game. And it's never really good to do a game from the stands. As you can probably see, it's not the greatest angle in the world. It's not like the major leagues where they have like 30 cameras all over the stadium. We have one, and we have 1 camera guy. And he's never done it before. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Richie. Hit on the ground to the shortstop. It's going to be a close play. At first, they wouldn't even get the out. Ball wasn't hit that hard to the shortstop. They got the fielder's choice at second, so the Wildcats have runners on the corners now with 2 outs now. And the batter for the Wildcats will be Cy Stevens. Cy's playing left field for the Wildcats today. About all these guys, for the most part, Andy Hudson was a part of the team last year, but not really on the varsity. He's the runner at third. Most of the other guys played a lot of baseball for the state tournament Wildcats. Cy with good power, steps in, batting from the right side. Green gave up 3 hard hit balls to start. The ball bounces away, and down to second will go Richie Ferreira. And the Wildcats will have 2 runners in scoring position, though, with 2 outs. Cy back in, 1 ball, no strikes to count to him. Runners at second and third, 2 in for the Wildcats here in the first inning. Pitch, fastball for a called strike at the knees. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. More and more fans continue to file into this field here at Halls High School. It's actually not at the high school, it's at the elementary school, I do believe. Timeout is asked for by Cy. All started with a double by Warren East. He scored the first run of the ball game on the single by Parker Free. Mikey Teasley hit a hard ball off the glove of the second baseman. The Wildcats played it 2, and there's another called strike at the knees on the outside half of the plate. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Green has the sign. And the 1-2 pitch to Cy Stevens. That's a little bit high, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So how are you adapting, Blake, to this camera work?
It's a little different than basketball, but I'm figuring it out.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Have you figured out the audio yet?
I think I have, but I have no idea.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Cut on and foul tipped into the mid, and that is a strikeout. But a very productive inning for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge scores 2 runs. They do it with 3 hits. They leave a couple. We go to the bottom half of the first inning here at Halls High School. Mikey Teasley about to take the mound for Oak Ridge. 2-0 Wildcats. We'll be back on our YouTube channel in a moment.
Leading off for the Red Devils, second baseman, Colby Camperado.
Welcome back once again to Halls High School. The Wildcats on top by a score of 2-0 over the Red Devils. It'll be top three, and as we lead things off in the bottom half of the first inning. Second baseman, and then Hudson Burnett, the right fielder, then Fisher Green, the pitcher. Teasley behind in the count, 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball in there for a called strike. Jeff, how fast was that one?
90 miles an hour on there.
90-mile-per-hour fastball by Mikey Teasley. 1-1 the pitch on the outside corner with another heater, and the count is 1-2. Blake, as you can see, Mikey can hum it.
Oh yeah, this is very impressive. I haven't seen him pitch, but this is top tier.
1-2, the pitch. Breaking pitch. Oh, boy. Not sure where that one was. Must have been a little inside as the count is 2-2. Nobody on, 2 in the top half of the first inning. Mikey's pitch is outside and low. Full count now, 3-2. Burnett is on deck for the Red Devils. Mikey, the 2-strike pitch. Called strike 3, and that is out number 1. So a good start there for Mikey Teasley. Some low heat, and that's the first strikeout at 92 miles per hour on the fastball. And Mikey can throw it, and that's why, as a junior, he's already committed to play at the national champion University of Tennessee Vols baseball. As Burnett steps in, the pitch is a breaking pitch. A lot of movement in there for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. One out here in the bottom of the first inning. Mikey to the plate, low and outside. Count is even at 1-1. I'll set the defense for you in a moment for the Wildcats. 1-1. Mikey working very fast. A lot of movement on that breaking pitch. Caught the inside of the corner of the plate, and the count is 1-2. Camden Welch is the first baseman for the Wildcats. As, like I said, Mikey's working really fast, and here's that pitch. That's called strike 3, and that is out number 2. So far, so good for Mikey Teasley. That one was at 94 miles per hour. And wow, this kid's a high school guy, and some major leaguers don't throw that hard. As Fisher Green, the pitcher, steps in now. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts. The pitch is a little bit low. Now, like a little more time to set the infield. The second baseman for the Wildcats is Tri Sharp. The shortstop is Noah Wood. That pitch is cut on and missed. And the count is 1-1. Carson Fagan is at third base. The left fielder for the Wildcats is Cy Stevens. Warren East is in center. Richie Ferreira is the right fielder, and Parker Free is the catcher. 1-1 pitch inside, and the count is 2-1. Halls and Oak Ridge, they will not be in our district next year as we move to a different district in baseball and basketball. That ball is hit in the air to left field, and the catch is made out there by Cy Stevens for out number 3. So a good inning for Mikey Teasley. He gets the Red Devils 1, 2, 3. We go to the top half of the second inning here at Halls, and Oak Ridge leads the Red Devils by a score of 2-0. And we'll be back on YouTube channel Prep Radio in a moment. Welcome back once again to Halls High School. We go to the top half of the second inning, 2-0 Wildcats. As Carson Fagan leads things off, he's hitting in the number 8 spot, hitting in that position. He is the third baseman today. When Mikey pitches, Mikey will be the third baseman for most of the other ball games, but Carson's there now today. That pitch is hit foul. Back to the screen, and the count is 0-1. On deck for the Wildcats is Noah Wood. Noah was a freshman contributor last year for the Wildcats. Carson steps back in. He's a right-handed hitter. Deep in the box, his back leg on the back line of the right-handed batter's box. Squares to bunt and makes a stab at it, and that's a strike. And the count is 0-2. Wildcats plated 2 runs in the first inning. RBIs from Parker Free and Mikey Teasley. Double by Warren East and 2 singles, Parker and Mikey. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, foul. Up the third base side, right past the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Travis Free. Took his team to the state tournament last year, hoping to get back there the same. Wildcats, with the exception of Caden Black, returned basically the same team as that pitch is cut on and missed, and that is a strikeout, and that is out number 1 here in the second inning. And the number 9 hitter, Noah Wood, will stand in for the first time today. Fisher Green, the pitcher for the Red Devils. And pitch is cut on and missed. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. Like I said, this is our first baseball game of this season. We hope to do many more. No balls and 1 strike. Pitch on the outside corner at the knees. And Fisher Green, who struggled with some hard hit balls in the first inning, has recovered nicely against the 8 and 9 hitters to this point. Noah back in. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just a little low, maybe a little outside, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Probably the best day we've had for baseball. It was in the 70s today. One-two pitch. Hit foul off the screen down the right side, and the count remains at 1-2. Blake, did you ever play baseball?
When I was younger, yeah.
You good?
Absolutely not.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, hopefully you're a good camera guy. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Noah steps out of the batter's box and back in he goes. Fisher Green to the plate with another 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to the pitcher. He feels it on 1 hop and throws on the first in time for out number 2.
Now batting the center fielder, Warren East.
Back to the top of the order we go to Warren East. Warren led off the ball game with a hard hit double to the left center field gap. 1 hop the wall at around the 340 mark, and he steps in 1 for 1. Hit a home run yesterday against the Red Devils. And the first pitch to him is a breaking pitch in there for a called strike at the belt, and the count is 0-1. Warren will be followed by Parker Free, but there are 2 outs. That breaking pitch stays inside, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't have my schedule with me to tell you when the next Oak Ridge game is. I'll ask somebody in a minute. That ball is hit in the air on the infield. The second baseman and the shortstop. It's going to be the shortstop right behind the bag who makes the catch for out number 3. So 3 up and 3 down for the Wildcats in the second. We go to the bottom half of the inning here at Halls High School. Oak Ridge on top by a score of 2-0, and we'll be back to Halls in a moment. Welcome back once again to Halls High School. The next ball game the Wildcats will be playing will be Thursday. That'll be at Coalfield. We will be in Murfreesboro watching the Lady Wildcats. They'll play a 5 o'clock ball game against Bartlett High School. Bartlett, incidentally, for Lady Wildcat fans or Oak Ridge fans who are not familiar with women's basketball, Bartlett has been in the state championship game the last 2 years. And they'll be facing the Lady Wildcats. They were defeated both years by Bradley Central, but there's no shame in that. Bradley, one of the top-ranked teams in the country right now. As the second inning gets set here, it'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the lineup facing Mikey Teasley. Leading things off will be Lethgo, the third baseman. He'll be followed by Cooper Faust, and then Dylan Bowser. Pitches the ball, 1 strike, the count. Right-handed hitter hitting in the number 4 position. Pitched in yesterday's game, hits the ball foul over to the right side and well out of play over towards the school. And the count is 1 2 strikes. Mikey had a couple strikeouts in the first inning. Tied the Red Devils 1-2-3. That pitch stays a little bit outside. Might have caught the plate there, but our friend, the umpire behind the plate, saw it differently, and he's the only one who counts. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, that one's definitely outside, and the count is full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the second inning here at Halls. Mikey has the sign from his catcher, Parker Free, and the pitch is hit foul. Back to the screen, and the count remains at 3-2. Oak Ridge boys are also in the state basketball tournament. They'll play their first game a week from Thursday against Walker Valley. That'll be an 8:15 Eastern game. Timeout is asked for, and out of the box will go Lethgo. Right-handed hitter, as I said, he's the number 4 hitter in the Red Devil lineup. The pitch hit foul again. Way late on it. Hits the screen, and the count remains at 3-2. Doing a good job staying alive. 95 miles per hour. Ball is hit foul again. Off to towards the Oak Ridge dugout, which is on the left side. For years, the dugout was on that side, and then they moved it to the opposite side, and now it's back to the third base side. That pitch is a strike, and he's going to have to throw him out, and Parker throws it down to Camden Welch, who steps on the bag just in time for out number 1. That's a strikeout to Mikey Teasley, but he has to throw him out 2-2-3. Batter now will be Cooper Faust, the center fielder for the Red Devils. Tall, slender young man steps in. Another right-handed hitter against the right-handed throwing Mikey Teasley. Pitch outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. Yesterday, Oak Ridge beat Halls 5-0. That game was at Bobby Hopkins Field in Oak Ridge. 1-0 pitch is down low, below the knees, and Mikey falls behind in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Talk about working quickly, Mikey is, and that pitch is hit foul back to the screen. The count is 0-2. 2-0 Wildcats as the Red Devils bat here in the bottom half of the second inning. Whereas in high school ball, you play 7 innings. 2-1 pitch, breaking pitch, and a nice one in there for a called strike, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cooper Faust. Dylan Bowser is on deck. He plays first for them. Here's the pitch. There's called strike 3. And that is strikeout number 4 for Mikey Teasley, and out number 2 here in the second. Blake, have you been impressed with Mikey so far?
Yeah, I mean, this is super impressive. This is like amazing play from Mikey.
Bowser stems in. He's a right-handed hitter. Plays first base for the Red Devils, and he hits the ball on 1 hop to the shortstop, who fields it and throws high and throws it into the Red Devil dugout, and that will be a throwing error. And the first base runner for the Halls Red Devils. And they have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Ball just kind of sailed on him as he fielded it nice and cleanly on a convenient hop, and then threw it high over Camden Welch's head, and that is an error. Pitch is a called strike on the outside half of the plate. The infield, Noah Wood is the shortstop. Carson Fagan is at third. Cam Welch is at first. The second baseman is Tri Sharp. Parker Free is the catcher. Pitch is hit right to Cam Welch for out number 3. Ball was hit pretty hard, although he was well behind it, but that is out number 3. So the Red Devils pick up a base runner. They leave him stranded. We go to the top of the third here at Halls. Oak Ridge on top of the Red Devils, 2-0. We're on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We'll hope you'll join us at the state tournament this coming Thursday as the Lady Wildcats take on Bartlett. That'll be a 5 o'clock Eastern time ball game. We'll have the broadcast on FM 92.7 and FM 94.7. We aren't allowed to stream the state tournament ball games. They are available on the TSSAA network, but we will have the radio broadcast on FM 92.7. I'm going to put my mic down here. We're live at Halls, 2-0 Wildcats as we go to the third. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Halls High School. A beautiful day for baseball. Not a cloud in the sky, a light breeze. Temperature's starting to drop a little bit. We were right at 70 degrees, I guess, when we started. And as quickly as Mikey is working, we could be out of here in less than 2 hours. Wildcats do have a 2-0 lead. It'll be for Oak Ridge. Parker Free leading things off for the Wildcats here in the third. Parker had an RBI single his first time. And he swings and foul tips that one, and the count is 0-1. Nobody on, nobody out. Parker back in, high fastball, cut on and missed. Right at shoulder level, and the count is 0-2. As I mentioned, Parker had a single and an RBI in the first inning. The Wildcats plated their 2 runs in the first. We're in the third now. Pitch. A little outside and low, and the count is 1-2 strikes. Parker will be followed by Mikey Teasley. Mikey reached base safely, and an RBI single off the glove of the second baseman. 1-2 pitch to Parker. Low and outside, evens the count at 2-2 strikes. We're live on our YouTube channel, our first broadcast of Oak Ridge Ball this year. I think we did about 20 games last year, including the state tournament, of course. Sub-state and the district. Parker Free back in. 2-2 pitch to him. Hit on the ground. Foul up the first base side. And the count remains at 2-2. Parker's a catcher. Had a solid freshman campaign a year ago. He's got some power. He's got some pop. He's a good catcher for the Wildcats. Of course, his dad is Travis Free, head coach of the Wildcats. Another 2-2 pitch. Outside this time, sweeped outside. Nice take there by Parker, and the count is 3-2 strikes. Teasley will be followed by Cam Welch. That's the scheduled 3. 3-2 pitch to Parker. That's ball 4. Good at bat there for Parker. Fell behind 0-2, but takes a walk, and let's see if we have a courtesy runner coming out of the dugout. It will be Cam Britton to run for him. Britton scored that run for the Wildcats back in the first inning when he was running for Parker. As Mikey steps in, Mikey, as I mentioned, singled off the glove of the second baseman. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. Already with 4 strikeouts on the mound for Oak Ridge. See what Cam can do at first. There's a throw over, and back to the bag will go the junior. Mikey, a right-handed hitting junior. The pitch to him. That's a little bit high. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. What's the hardest part of the camera work so far, Blake?
I think it's the speed of the ball and right positioning.
Well, we're not usually this close. We're usually a little higher, too. Cam Britton draws a throw over to first once again. Count is 1 ball and no strikes to Mikey Teasley. As I mentioned, Cam Welch is on deck for Oak Ridge. Peyton Witter will follow him. Hopefully many more as the pitch is a called strike. And Cam is going on a kind of a delayed steal, and he is called safe, I do believe, as the ball went scooting into the outfield. And we'll give Cam a stolen base on that. Kind of more of a delay for Britton, and he's in scoring position now with a 1 ball, 1 strike count on Mikey Teasley. Fisher Green, the pitcher for the Red Devils, working from the stretch, checks Britton, the pitch. Hit in the air, right side, pretty deep, back to the warning track, back to the wall, and right at the wall. The catch is made for the out. Advancing over to third is Cam Britton, and he's at third base now with 1 out. Ball just kept going back and back and back, and the right fielder for the Red Devils made it right up against the fence for out number 1. Batter now will be the first baseman, Cam Welch, who pitched to Jim yesterday, a complete game shutout for the Wildcats. I don't think he even walked a batter at all in the ball game against Halls yesterday. I'll explain to Blake in a minute why we're playing Halls on back-to-back days. The way they work that out is, you know, if you play them back-to-back, they can't pitch the same pitcher against you multiple times. So they have to, because they can. So that's kind of why they play in a series. The ball's hit on the ground. The infield was in. They're going to throw in, and Britton is going to be out at the plate. Ball was hit. They had the infield in. Nice play by the Red Devil second baseman. As I said, they were playing in, and he gunned down Britton at the plate, and that is out number 2. And fielder's choice for Cam Welch, so he's at first base, and he draws a throw. The batter will be Peyton Witter. Peyton walked his first time. He's a designated hitter today, hitting for the Wildcats. Try sharp. Once again, Cam draws a throw over at first. 2-0 Oak Ridge. All the damage done in the first inning. Fisher Green has settled down nicely for the Red Devils. The pitch to Peyton is a called strike at the belt, and the count is 0-1. Blake Woody doing our camera work for us here at Halls. Appreciate that. Another throw over to first, and back to the bag goes Cam Welch. They've cut down some trees over in right field, so the gentleman who has a house right in the right field side can sit and watch the ball game. And that's what he's doing. As that pitch is hit, foul back to the screen, and the count is 0-2. Richie Ferreira is on deck for Oak Ridge. 2-0 Wildcats. The way this game started, it looked like Fisher Green wasn't going to last long, but he has been good ever since the first 3 batters faced him in the first inning. He's been lights out ever since. And the Wildcats still hold a 2-0 lead. Good lead at first for Cam Welch. And the 0-2 pitch. High and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Cam takes his lead off of first once again. From the stretch, Witter back in, 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air to softly into right field. That's a base hit. Peyton has a soft single to right field. He didn't do anything fancy with it. He just put the bat where the ball was pitched, and he poked it into right field, and that is a base hit for Peyton. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. And the batter now will be Richie Ferreira. Richie reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Batting from the left side with runners at first and second. Oak Ridge has had some base runners. They stranded 2 in that first inning. Plated 2. They have 4 hits. Not being held at first. Here's the pitch to Richie. That's high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. You can probably hear the mitt popping as the ball comes whistling in. Richie's a senior. Had some key hits for the Wildcats last season in their state tournament run. Played football this year for Oak Ridge. 1-0 pitch. Cut on a miss. I think Richie knew that was a little bit out of the strike zone. Takes a half cut through it, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Richie will be followed by Cy Stevens, but there are 2 outs here in the third. Cam Welch, the lead runner at second. Peyton Witters at first. 1-1 pitch. Cut on a miss. Another swing and a miss, and Richie behind in the count now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Like I said, Richie had some really big hits, actually in the state tournament as well, as did some of his teammates. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners going. The pitch. So it's going to be called strike 3 on the inside half of the plate, and that is out number 3. So Richie is retired for the third out. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. We are live at Halls High School. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top by a score of 2-0 over the Red Devils. We'll take a break. We'll put down the mic. We'll be back to Halls in a moment.
Leading off for the Red Devils, the shortstop, Parker Mace.
Welcome back once again to Halls High School. The Red Devils, 8 and 9 hitters against Mikey Teasley, and his first pitch is a called strike. 2-0 Wildcats in this district game. Cut on and missed. 0-2. The batter is Parker Meese. He's the shortstop for the Red Devils. Mikey working quickly. 0-2 pitch, breaking pitch, called strike 3. Meese knew it. And back to the dugout he goes, and that is strikeout.
Next up for the Red Devils, left fielder, Jackson Kitt.
Right-handed hitter. That is strikeout number 5 in the ball game for Mikey. We're in the third inning. Got to remember, Blake, that each team gets a bat in each inning. So he had the innings wrong. There's a cut on and miss. Nice pitch by Teasley. And the junior evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. By the end of this baseball season, Blake, you will be an expert. There's a called strike on a fastball. Jeff, how fast was that one? 90 miles per hour by Mikey Teasley. He works so quickly. 1-2 pitch. That one's low. That evens the count at 2-2. This is the number 9 hitter in their order, the left fielder Jackson Kitts. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 1 out in the third. Pitch hit on the ground to the second baseman, who throws on to Cam Welch in time for out number 2. So easy ground ball out to Oak Ridge's second baseman, Tri Sharp. And back to the top of the order we go to Caparado. everything, all the Red Devils who've made contact have not been able to get around on his fastball. As that pitch is a called strike. Top of the order. Colby was a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Pitch is low, and the count is 1-1 strike. Teasley has committed to play ball at the University of Tennessee. He's only a junior, as we've said. Don't know, obviously, if a major league team drafts him, offers him a lot of money. I don't know what he'll decide to do. Pitch is hit well. That's a base hit. First base hit. He got around on that one, drilled it to the wall down in left field, and that is a 2-out double for the leadoff man in the first hit of the ball game for the Halls Red Devils, and he got around on it and smacked it into the corner. So I got it in pretty quickly, but it's a 2-out double, and the tying run comes to the plate in the person of Hudson Burnett. Hudson was a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Runner at second. Teasley will work from the stretch. Parker Free, his catcher, gives him the sign, the pitch. There's a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I was talking to Mikey's grandmother before the game, and she basically was saying, no, he needs his education. If the major league people call, that ball is hit in the air, deep to left center field. Warren East, the center fielder, back on it. That ball is off the wall. And that is going to be a triple, an RBI triple. Here comes the throw into third, and the Red Devils are on the board. That ball came within just a few feet from getting out of the ballpark, and the Red Devils have back-to-back extra base hits. That is a triple and an RBI for Burnett. And after cruising through the first two innings, back-to-back really hard-hit balls against Mikey. And let's see if he can retire the pitcher, Fisher Green. Tying run at third. That pitch is a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. That ball was hit a ton. I thought at first when he hit it, it was going to get out of the park. Might have hit high up on the wall. Warren got to it. That pitch is hit on the ground to the shortstop. He has plenty of time this time. Throws him out for out number 3. But the Red Devils pick up a base runner, and they score their first run of the game on the triple by Burnett. We go to the top of the fourth inning here at Halls High School. The Wildcats lead the Red Devils by a score of 2-0, and we will be back to Halls in a moment. Welcome back to Halls High School. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Oak Ridge lineup. Cy Stevens, Carson Fagan, then Noah West. Carson was a strikeout victim back to end the first inning when the Wildcats scored their only 2 runs. Red Devils making it a ball game. They picked up 2 hits in the third. It's a 2-1 lead for the Wildcats in the fourth inning. Cut on and missed. Cy, another senior member of this Wildcat team. He'll be playing college ball next year. 1 strike pitch, breaking pitch. Evidently a little low, maybe inside, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Blake Woody is doing our camera work, and he's learned that sitting in the bleachers is pretty uncomfortable for any length of time. Pitch off the catcher's mitt back to the screen, and it was outside anyway, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Got a good crowd on hand here. In fact, a better crowd today than any Halls game that I've seen Oak Ridge play in several years. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cy back in. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air. That's deep to center field. That ball is going, and it is off the wall, off the top of the fence. It'll be a double. That ball was just about maybe an inch away from getting out of the ballpark, and the Wildcats have a leadoff double. That ball was hit a ton by Cy Stevens, and the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position with nobody out, and the Wildcats will bring in another courtesy runner. The batter now for the Wildcats will be Carson Fagan. Carson was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning to lead off the 2nd. Bats from the right side. Squares to bunt. Makes a stab. Might have even foul tipped it, and the count is 0-1. Leadoff double for Cy Stevens. Number 8 hitter Carson Fagan behind in the count. No balls and 1 strike. 2-1 Wildcats. Oak Ridge trying to get that run back here in the 4th inning. Squared to bunt, but Cy drew a throw back, fake throw back to second. Carson back in. 1 strike the count. Squares to bunt again. This time he does get it down. It's a good one. They have 1 play, and it's to first, so a good sacrifice bunt by Carson Fagan. And the Wildcats have that runner at 3rd base now, and the batter now will be Noah Wood. Noah grounded out on a high hopper to the pitcher back in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Warren East. The Wildcats have a runner at 3rd, and Noah steps in. As I mentioned, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Infield is in once again on the grass. Pitch. That was inside, but called a strike, and the count is 0-1. Cy Stevens, the base runner, at 3rd. 1 strike pitch to Noah, cut on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Wood bats from the right side, facing Fisher Green. The pitch, cut on and missed, and that is a strikeout. And Noah goes down for the 2nd out of the inning, so it's going to be up to Warren East if the Wildcats are going to play to run. Warren doubled to lead off the ball game, scored a run, and was, let's see, popped out to short his other plate appearance. 2-1, the Wildcats in the lead. Warren 1 for 2, and the first pitch to him. Squares to bunt, takes the strike, and the count is 0-1. Warren will be followed by Parker Free, but there are 2 outs here in the 4th. Wildcats have out hit the Red Devils 5-2. The pitch bounces away, and Cy is going to make an attempt to score. Here's the throw. He is safe. Cy Stevens is in. The ball eluded the catcher, and Cy, who's not really known for his blazing speed, comes in to score run number 3 for the Wildcats. The Wildcats get that run right back, and they once again have a 2-run lead. The ball bounced away. There isn't a whole lot of foul territory back here. It went back, and Cy broke pretty much immediately and came in to score, and it's 3-1. And Warren bats with nobody aboard down. That pitch is up high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Warren's not a very big guy, but he's got a lot of power. I still remember that home run last year against Bearden, as that pitch was up high, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Had several home runs, but the one at Bearden just kind of stands out to me as very memorable. Blake, where were you this time last year?
In Hawaii, going to Radford High School.
That sounds nice. 3-1 pitch to Warren, hit on the ground. Past the pitcher, it's going to be bang, bang play, and he's safe. Warren beats it out. It was a bang, bang play. Once it kind of caromed off the pitcher over towards the shortstop, even though the infield was kind of in, actually, Warren, with his speed, was able to beat it out, and the Wildcats have another base runner, and that's a rule to base hit for Warren. He's 2 for 3 in the ballgame, and the batter will be Parker Free. Parker had a single and an RBI. He also walked. He's 1 for 1 officially in the game. Warren East, the base runner at first. Good lead. Draws the throw, and back to the bag will go the sophomore. Good lead at first. Warren, he's going. Here's the pitch off the catcher's glove, and now it's going to be a stolen base for Warren. And he didn't realize that the ball had caromed off the catcher's mitt, or he might have had a chance to go to third. But he's in scoring position with a 1 ball, no strike count on catcher Parker Free. Pitch, cut on and missed. Low pitch in the dirt, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 run in. The Wildcats scored 2 in the first. They have scored a single run so far in the 4th. The Red Devils scored their lone run in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Parker back in. 1 ball, 2 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Warren East, the base runner at second, and pitcher bothered a little bit by Warren as he takes his lead. Second baseman kind of shades over towards the bag. Parker's got a big hole to hit through if he goes the opposite way, as that pitch is cut on and missed, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kind of a teammate was Parker on the football team, Blake.
He was an excellent leader. He's very loud, very, what's the word for it? Upbringing, or like
Enthusiastic and
inspiring.
Timeout is asked for by Parker. I don't know. I haven't asked him. I haven't asked his dad, and I'm sure it's up to Parker anyway. I haven't asked him if he wants to continue on and play football. I think his bread is buttered with baseball, as the pitch is cut on a miss, and that is a strikeout, and Parker is out number 3. But the Wildcats pick up another run. They lead at Halls by a score of 3-1. It all started with a leadoff double by Cy Stevens. Came around to score on a wild pitch. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Halls High School. Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top of the Red Devils by a score of 3-1. We're live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We'll be back to Halls in a moment.
out for the Red Devils, the third baseman, Amari. Let's go.
Welcome back once again to Halls High School. Leadoff man, Mari Lethgo, a strikeout victim back in the second inning. He'll be followed by Cooper Faust, then Dylan Bowser in their Red Devil lineup. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning, 3-1, Oak Ridge in the lead. Lethgo hits in the number 4 slot. He was the pitcher of record yesterday. Takes a pitch a little bit low, and the count is 1-1 strike. Mikey Teasley has gone all the way for the Wildcats. That pitch is low and outside. 2-1 strike. Mikey gave up a run in the previous inning. 2 very hard hit balls. See if he can recover. That ball's hit softly on the ground to the first baseman. Couldn't get around on it, and it's an easy out for Cam Welch over at first. And that is the first out here in the fourth inning. Batter now will be the fifth hitter, the center fielder, Cooper Faust. He struck out in the second inning. Right-handed hitter, the Red Devils and the Wildcats. As I mentioned, they will not be in our district next year. Wildcats will be moving to a different district, which involves Farragut, Bearden, Lenore City, McMinn County, Ray County, and I'm forgetting somebody. Hardin Valley will be in the district next year. That pitch is a called strike. That evens the count at 1-1 strike. Blake and I are sitting in the bleachers. I've sat here before for a ball game. Starting to get a little cooler, Blake, because that pitch is a little outside. We're in the bottom of the fourth. The sun's starting to set.
Yeah, it's getting a little cooler. I should have brought a jacket.
I told you, but you gotta watch the weather, Blake, as that pitch is hit foul over towards the Halls dugout once again. Hardly anybody's getting around on Mikey's fastball. Everything's been hit to the opposite side. He's got an even count, 2 strikes. Pitch, cut on a missed, and that's another strikeout for Mikey Teasley. And the second time in the ball game that the center fielder Cooper Faust has been a strikeout victim. And the batter now will be the first baseman, Dylan Bowser. He reached on an error back in the second inning. First base runner to reach for the Red Devils. Nobody on, 2 outs as the Red Devils bat here in the fourth inning. Pretty breaking pitch in there for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. One strike pitch, 2 strike pitch as Mikey gets him swinging, and the count is 0-2. Bowser back in. That one's up high. 1 2 strikes. Typically when Blake Woody goes on a road trip with us, the thing that he most cares about is where we eat after the ball game. As that pitch is cut on a miss, and that is another strikeout for Mikey Teasley. He had 2 strikeouts in the first, 2 in the second inning, 1 in the third, and 2 more here in the fourth. We go to the top of the fifth inning here at Halls High School. District ball game. The Wildcats trying to go 2-0 in district play. They lead the Halls Red Devils by a score of 3-1. And we'll be back to Halls High School in a moment. Welcome back once again to Halls High School. Looks like Halls has made a pitching change as new guy comes in to face Wildcats' Mikey Teasley. And his first pitch is a ball. And one ball, no strikes. Pitch is up high. Two balls, no strikes. Mikey steps back in. Right-handed hitter. Pitch is outside. That is ball 3. Is that the correct roster? Does it have numbers? Okay, sorry. 3-0 pitch to Mikey, and there's a called strike at the knees on the inside half of the plate, and the count is 3-1. Nobody out, nobody aboard for the Wildcats. Mikey had a single and an RBI in the first inning. Flew out to right field his last time, and he takes ball 4. So a good start for the Wildcats against the new Halls pitcher. And the batter now will be Cam Welch. Going to have a courtesy runner once again in the game for the Wildcats to run. I believe that will be Andy Hudson, I do believe. Conversation taking place. See if we're going to have some changes. Looks like out of the dugout after facing only one batter, the Red Devil coach, and he's talking with his pitcher. The Wildcats' next ball game will be Thursday when they take on Coalfield, and that game, I believe, will be at Coalfield. We will not be able to broadcast that ball game. We will be in Murfreesboro as the Lady Wildcats take on Bartlett in the first round of the state baseball tournament, basketball tournament, girls basketball tournament. They call it the Blue Cross Basketball Championships. I think they're the sponsor, and I think they want all this broadcasters and writers and stuff to say the official name, because I'm sure Blue Cross has paid a lot of money for the rights. But the Lady Wildcats will be playing at 5 o'clock Eastern time against Bartlett. That's a school pretty close to Memphis. Chance to move on to the Final Four in the state as Cam Welch steps in. Runner at first, he draws a throw, and Cam Welch steps in. What has Cam done today? Let's see. He has popped out to the shortstop. And the first pitch to him is at the belt for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Now the junior varsity Wildcats, I think, are playing Maryville right now. Or maybe it's Powell. I know the JV's playing someplace else other than here. Maryville tournament. And so not the full contingent of players today as that ball is hit in the air to center field, pretty deep, but not deep enough. It's going to be caught right in front of the fence for out number 1 here in the 5th inning. And the batter now will be the designated hitter, Peyton Witter. Peyton walked his first time, picked up a single as well. Bats from the right side. His single was just a little poke job out in the right field. Put his bat out where it was pitched and poked it in the right field. And he's 1 for 1 in the ball game. Hudson takes his lead off of first. The pitch is a fastball cut on and missed. And the count 0-1 to Peyton Witter. Peyton will be followed by Richie Ferreira in the Wildcat lineup. Lower part of the order after Peyton hasn't done much today. Andy takes a good lead. He's going. Here comes the throw. It's a high one. Andy slides in, and he is out. Caught stealing for the second out here in the 5th inning. So that is out number 2. So the Wildcat base runner is removed, and Peyton's got a 1-ball, 1-strike count on him. I'll speak to Travis Free, head coach of the Wildcats, after the ball game. Maybe Mikey Teasley. We'll see how the game plays out. 1-ball, 1-strike. Pitch. There's a called strike, and the count is 1-2. We're broadcasting from the bleachers. As I've said many times in all the high school baseball games I've done, that you just don't have a great vantage point really to call ball games. The press box up there is very small too. That pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gracia's got a new press box at Bobby Hopkins Field, replacing the one from the 1950s. It's a little smaller than the previous version, but a lot younger, a lot safer probably. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch hit on the ground to the pitcher. He catches it on a hop and runs to the bag himself to retire Peyton Witter for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Halls High School. Oak Ridge leads the Red Devils by a score of 3-1, and we'll be back to Halls in a moment. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in this district ball game here from Halls High School. Oak Ridge on top of the Red Devils by a score of 3-1, and Mikey Teasley begins his 5th inning of work. He has 7 strikeouts in the ball game. He's only given up a couple of hits. Ridge Junior Varsity team won today 4-3. Congratulations to them. They're in a tournament, I believe, over in Maryville. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 in the Red Devil lineup to face Mikey. It'll be, let's see, Dylan Murphy to lead things off. He's 0 for 1. He lined out to the first baseman, Cam Welch, back in the 2nd inning. That pitch is outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes. Looks like the infield and outfield basically the same since the start of the game. 2-0 pitch. There's a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Did you see how much break that has, Blake?
Yeah, that's very impressive.
2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch. It's a little bit high, maybe a little outside. It's kind of belt level, but I think it just was outside of the plate, and then Mikey falls behind in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. Parker Free gives him the sign. The pitch cut on a miss. Good fastball on the inside half. He swung right through it, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Camden Welch is the first baseman. As the pitch is down low, and that is ball, and that is ball 4. So base runner for the Red Devils here in the 5th. And the tying run comes to the plate in the person of the shortstop, Parker Meese. Parker was a strikeout victim in the 3rd inning. Infield for the Wildcats. It looks like we have a courtesy runner for the Red Devils. The catcher is Parker Free. The pitcher is Mikey Teasley. The first baseman is Cam Welch. The 3rd baseman is Carson Fagan. Noah Wood is playing short. Tri Sharp is playing 2nd base. The outfield consists of Cy Stevens in left. The center fielder is Warren East, and the right fielder is Richie Ferreira. Right-handed batter. Short lead at first. Mikey working from the stretch, and throws the ball off the dugout and into the dugout, and that is an error on Mikey Teasley, and they've got a base runner in scoring position with nobody out. Tried to pick him off, and the throw went errant into, I guess, the dugout area. It was out of our view, but obviously the base was awarded. They've got a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the 5th inning. Number 8 hitter is strikeout victim, as I mentioned earlier. Pitch to him. That one's a called strike. The count is 0-1. Red Devils have always been very solid in baseball. The Wildcats beat them yesterday 5-0. Another breaking pitch in there for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Yeah, Mikey is committed to play ball at Tennessee, defending national champions. Of course, he's only a junior, hasn't signed, can still go anywhere he wants to. 0-2 pitch, cut on and missed. And that is strikeout number 8 for Mikey Teasley, and the second time that Meese has gone down swinging. And the batter now will be the number 9 hitter, the left fielder scheduled. That is, I believe, Jackson Kitts. Actually, it's Cooper Cunningham, the batter. I didn't think that was, it didn't look like the same person. And he'll step in for the Red Devils. Righty versus lefty. 1 out, runner at second. He squares to butt and hits it foul. Off the screen, off to the left side, and the count is 0-1. Mikey has 8 strikeouts in the ball game. Trying to strand this runner at second. It's a 3-1 ball game. A pitcher's duel here at Halls. Cunningham back in. He's bats from the left side. The 1-strike pitch to him. Breaking pitch on the outside half of the plate, and the count is 0-2. Looks like my old friend Rick Hendricks is behind the plate as the umpire. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, cut on and foul tipped into the mitt. That is another strikeout, and that is out number 2. But back to the top of the order we go. Strikeout number 9 for Caparado is the batter. Caparado, his last time, drilled one, and he scored the first run and the only run so far in the ball game. He's the leadoff man for the Red Devils. 2 outs, though. Mikey fires a fastball. Either it's outside or a little bit low. Count as a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Right-handed hitter. They have a runner at second base. 2 outs, though, in the 5th inning. Pitch. That one stays up high, and the count is 2-0. Caparado played basketball for the Red Devils. Wildcats played them in the district tournament. They made it to the region, but were defeated in the opening round. 2 balls, no strikes. Cut on, missed. Foul tipped into the mid of Parker. Free, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. You notice, Blake, I've put on my little jacket here.
Yeah, I'm really wishing I had a jacket right now.
Well, there's one in the van if you want to run out there. I kind of thought you wouldn't bring anything. As the count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the 5th. We're getting kind of late in the ball game, so we won't have to freeze much, but you better not get sick. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, 1 on. Mikey trying to shut him down here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Ball's hit on the ground, third base side. Carson Fagan fields it, throws on the first in time for out number 3. So Mikey gives up a walk and then throws an errant throw to first, but he leaves the runner stranded. We go to the top of the 6th inning here at Halls High School. The Wildcats lead the Red Devils by a score of 3-1. And we're on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Our next broadcast of Oak Ridge High School sports will be Thursday when the Lady Wildcats take on Bartlett in the first round of the Elite 8, the state tournament at Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We will be on FM 92.7, broadcasting on the radio and on prepradio.com. Blake, you going to the girls' state tournament?
Absolutely, yeah.
Are you going to the boys' state tournament?
Yes, I'm very excited to watch them play.
Tell me about that game last night. I know Oak Ridge was in a thriller against Sevier County. What's your observations of the game last night?
I mean, in the first half, we really didn't play that well. I mean, we were losing by a point, but it was a close game the entire time. And at the end, I was on the edge of my seat the entire game.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Wildcats won it by 1. Lady Wildcats won their sub-state by 1, both over Sevier County. You know, we eliminated Sevier County in baseball last year. So we've eliminated them in 3 sports, but unfortunately in football it was a different story.
Yeah, that was a very disappointing game, but next year, will we play them next year?
Only maybe in the playoffs.
Well, if we play them in the playoffs, We'll come back and get them.
Blake, of course, a member of the Oak Ridge Wildcats that made it all the way to that semifinal round game against the Smoky Bears, who went on the next week and won the state championship, really did it with ease. And I personally think if you had beaten Sevier County, you'd have won the state championship.
Absolutely. I think we had a really great shot at winning that state championship, but I mean, it is what it is. We lost to Sevier County, but we'll come back next year.
Blake was telling me, this is Blake Woody, he was telling me, and he went to high school in Hawaii, he was telling me all his other schools have not had the same quality of sports programs that Oak Ridge High School seems to have.
Oh yeah, it's like night and day moving here. Everything is so like high priority, high level, and yeah, they really demand a lot from you here at Oak Ridge.
The expectations are a little high here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every day it's high expectations in the schoolroom and on the field.
Good job there, Blake. As Richie Ferreira steps in for the Wildcats, let's hear what Richie has done. Richie reached on a fielder's choice and was a strikeout victim. He is officially 0 for 2 in the ball game. Got a new pitcher. He's a lefty, facing the lefty, and Richie swings through that one, and the count is 0-1. Ferreira back in, nobody on, nobody out. We're in the 6th inning. That pitch is down low. Blake, had you changed the innings?
Just did.
We're using our basketball scoreboard right now. We will eventually switch to the baseball scoreboard when we find it and when we can fix it. As that pitch is outside. We started using it last year at the state tournament, and we didn't really use it until the state tournament, and so it's kind of a mystery still to us. But Sean Knowles knows how to work it, but he's not here. He's at ETSU. Blake will eventually figure it out. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Richie. Richie, a colorful character, is he not, Blake?
Yeah, especially on that football field. Drew a lot of fouls, but yeah.
Ball is hit in the parking lot. I didn't hear your car. I think your car is still in one piece, Blake.
Let's hope so.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Richie will be followed in the Oak Ridge order by Cy Stevens. He had a booming hit his last plate appearance. Lefty versus lefty. The pitch, that's ball 4. Good start for the Wildcats as Richie wanders on down to first. And leadoff man aboard, and here comes Cy Stevens. Cy struck out his first time, had a double, just barely missed a home run his last plate appearance, and he scored the Wildcats' 3rd run of the game. Oak Ridge does lead it 3-1 as they bat here in the 6th inning. Sun going down. You can run to the car if you want to. He says he's okay. Hawaii boys are tough, I guess. Runner at first, not going. That pitch is up high, a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Stevens, he'll be playing college ball next year. He was a transfer student a year ago. Contributed mightily to the Wildcats state tournament run last year. Throw it to first, and Richie Ferreira is back to the bag. 1 camera operation in baseball is tough. Of course, you can also watch it if some people can watch it on Game Changer if they're subscribers, I guess. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch, that one's up high. 2 balls and no strikes. 3rd pitcher used by the Red Devils. It's a lefty. Side with good strength, good power. Heading the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Cy calls timeout, and umpire grants the timeout, and Cy will step back in. Runner at first is Richie Ferreira, leadoff walk here in the 6th. Wildcats have out-hit them, I think 6-2. The Wildcats have committed 2 errors. That pitch is up high, ball 3. So far, our new pitcher in the ballgame, I believe that is Easton Kitts, and he's been a little bit wild. 3 balls and no strikes. This is a district ball game. Pitch. Here's a nice one on the inside half of the plate at the belt, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Well attended ball game here at Halls. Good Oak Ridge contingent, good Hall's contingent to watch this district ball game and our best weather game of the year. Of course, this is our first game that we've broadcast. We've been kind of saddled with basketball. We love basketball, but 8 games in the last 11 days. It's been a lot. On our YouTube channel, we hope you've enjoyed that, and hopefully we'll have a few more of the state tournaments. That pitch is low and inside, and Cy is headed towards first with a base on balls, and he's reached base safely twice now with a double and a walk. And the batter now will be the third baseman, Carson Fagan. Of course, Carson moved up from Texas last year, became a member of the Wildcat team, contributed a little bit in the field and some pitching. He's a right-handed hitter. Runners at first and second. The lead runner is Richie Ferreira. Carson squares to bunt. Nice bunt. That's going to be a base hit. That's a bunt single. He got a lot of bat on it, and once it got past the pitcher, there was no way in the world, and that is a bunt single for Carson Fagan. Excellent bunt. Once it got past the pitcher, there was no way in the world they were going to retire any of the base runners for the Wildcats. So Oak Ridge has the bases loaded now, and the batter will be Noah Wood. Noah 0 for 2 in the ball game. Bases full of Wildcats in a 3-1 ball game. 7th hit of the game for Oak Ridge. That pitch is hit on the ground, right side. That's going to get a run in. They get a out at second on the fielder's choice, but it's an RBI ground out for Noah. In to score a run for the Wildcats is Richie Ferreira. Moving down to third is Cy Stevens, and the Wildcats have runners on the corners with 1 out now in a 4-1 ball game as they bat here in the 6th inning. Back to the top of the order we go to Warren East. Warren had a double, scored a run. He also has a single and a stolen base to his credit. He also popped out to the shortstop. He's 2 for 3 in the ball game, if I can read my writing correctly. 4-1 Wildcats the pitch. That's up high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, some of us brought a jacket and others did not. 1 ball, no strikes. Noah Wood, the base runner at first base. Cy Stevens is at third. Run in. The Wildcats on top now 4-1. 7 hits in the ball game for Oak Ridge, 2 for the Red Devils. The Wildcats have committed a couple of errors. Pitch to Warren. It's a little bit high, right at a little bit at chest level, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Warren will be followed by Parker Free. Parker had an RBI single, a walk, and a strikeout in this ball game. Warren back in. He's a sophomore. Pitch, hit in the air, foul territory, drifting over towards the third base line. The shortstop over, can't get to it, just barely over the fencing over to our left side, and Warren stays alive. 2 balls and 1 strike. Like Woody doing our camera work. He'll be going to Murfreesboro with us on Thursday as the Lady Wildcats take on Bartlett a week from this Thursday. The boys are in the state tournament as well. They're taking on the Walker Valley team. Oak Ridge beat them by 18 during the regular season. So it's we'd think a pretty good matchup for Oak Ridge, but you never know. Walker Valley's been ranked in the top 10 all season long. And a lot of things change when you get on that big floor at Murfreesboro. That pitch is down low, a ball, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Like last night, we had, 2,500 people watching the basketball game on our YouTube channel. It was crazy last night, people watching the Wildcats game against Sevier County. 3 balls and 1 strike. Throw over to first, and back to the bag will go Noah Wood. So our first broadcast, the Wildcats have a 4-1 lead. Noah with a RBI ground out. He's the runner. That pitch is down low, and that's another walk. So Warren East heads on the first. The Wildcats reload the bases, and the batter now will be Parker Free. And I think that's going to be it for Mr. Kitts as the Coach of the Red Devils comes wandering out of the dugout. Let's see if he takes the ball from him. Bases full of Wildcats. 4-1 our score here from Halls High School. Conversation taking place. We're glad you tuned in on our baseball broadcast. We know we probably don't have 2,000 people, but we appreciate whoever is watching. And we are going to have a pitching change. So I'm going to put the mic down. Wildcats on top 4-1. We'll be back to Halls in a moment.
Pitching for the Red Devils, number 7, Bryce McCarty.
Welcome back once again to Halls High School. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Oak Ridge on top of the Red Devils 4-1. Wildcats have loaded the bases, and Parker Free, number 2 hitter in the Wildcat lineup, is the batter. Cy Stevens, the lead runner at third base. Pitch to Parker is a called strike on a fastball right down the middle, and the count is 0-1. Noah Wood is the base runner at second. Warren East is at first. 1 strike pitch upcoming to Parker Free. Ball 1, a little outside and low, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 run in, the Wildcats on top 4-1 as we broadcast this district ball game from Halls High School. Close to Halls High School, you can see it anyway. We're closer to the elementary school maybe, right here behind us. Maybe the middle school. It's another school. It's got an aluminum roof, and usually I've seen a lot of foul balls hit it, and it goes clang, kind of like my basketball call when it hits the rim. But Blake Woody doing our technical work here, learning how to do the camera in a baseball game. It's not easy, so no complaints because it's hard, especially in a 1-camera outfit sitting in the bleachers that only has 5. That ball is hit foul right at the plate, and Parker falls behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck for the Wildcats is Mikey Teasley. Parker, as I mentioned, let's see in this ball game, has a single and RBI. He's walked. And the 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, up the middle, into center field. 1 run in. Cy Stevens scores. Ball loose to the center fielder. Noah Wood scores. Warren East moves down to third, and Parker Free is at second base. The Wildcats now lead it by a score of 6-1. Ball was hit hard right up the middle, scooted into the outfield, and Wildcats have 2 more runs. And Parker is able to advance to second on the kind of mishandled ball out in center field. Then the Wildcats lead it by a score of 6-1, and the batter will be Mikey Teasley. We have a courtesy runner for Parker out at second. And the batter is Mikey Teasley. Can help himself right here. Pitch to him is hit foul. down the 6-1 Wildcats as they bat in the 6th inning. Their next ball game is at Coalfield on Thursday. As I mentioned, we'll be at the Girls State Basketball Tournament as the Lady Wildcats take on Bartlett. That'll be a 5 o'clock game from the Murphy Center, campus of Middle Tennessee State. Blake, you're going to like that. Big floor, big arena, big stage for the Lady Wildcats. 1 strike the count to Mikey. Hit in the air softly to right field. I say soft as it goes all the way back to the wall, and it bounces off the wall. 2 more runs should score. That'll be a double, and hopefully the right fielder's okay because he is down. Only 1 run actually scored on this one. Hopefully he's okay as play is halted. And ball was hit. I didn't think when he first hit it that it was going to go as far. It went all the way to the 340 mark on the fence. That is another RBI for Mikey, and that is his 2nd of the ball game. In the score was Warren. Wildcats also have a runner at 2nd and 3rd. Let's see if this young man's okay. 7-1, the Wildcats now lead. The game was a pitcher's duel really for the first 3 or 4 innings, but the Red Devils have used 2 or 3 different pitchers in this ball game, and the Wildcats have lit them up here in the 6th inning for 4 runs. 7-1 Wildcats. Cam Welch steps in now for the Wildcats. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. 4 runs in. Pitches are called strike. New pitcher in the ball game for the Red Devils. Cam on the game is 0 for 2. A couple of flyouts, 1 to the shortstop and 1 to the center fielder. 1 out, 4 in, 7-1 Wildcats. The pitch, low and outside. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wildcats scored 2 runs in the 1st inning. They scored a single run in the 4th and now 4 in the 6th to lead it 7-1. Pitches outside a ball. Their lone run came in the 3rd inning. The Red Devils had back-to-back hits. Haven't done much against Mikey Teasley. He has 9 strikeouts in this ball game. Cam back in. 2 balls and 1 strike to him. The pitch cut on and missed. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cam Welch back in. 2 on. The pitch. Hit on the ground, foul. Up the first base side and out of play, and the count is 2-2. Welch back in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. His brother graduated off of last year's team, Kyron Welch. 2-2 pitch, kind of excuse me swing off the netting, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of stayed alive with it. Cam pitched a complete game shutout yesterday against the Red Devils. Didn't walk a batter. 2-2 pitch. Hit on off the end of his foot. That's a foul ball. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A painful Foul ball. He'll wander back in. Just a masterful job of pitching. We weren't able to see it live yesterday, but I followed the Game Changer throughout the getting ready for the boys basketball game with Sevier County, which they won by 1 in the sub-state. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one's way outside and low. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Good inning here going for the Wildcats. They've put 4 on the board to lead the Red Devils 7-1. About the 5th pitcher they've used today. 3-2 pitch. Hit well. That's going to go all the way to the wall. In fact, it's going to one-hop the wall. 2 more runs should score. Cheeto is heading into second. They hold the runner up at third, and the Wildcats now lead it by a score of 8-1. Booming double that time by Cam Welch, and an RBI in to score that time. Let's see, I guess was Noah, or no, that was Cam Britton running for Parker, and he has a couple runs scored. The Wildcats lead it now 8-1. Still runners at second and third, and the batter now will be Peyton Witter. Peyton is singled and walked in the ball game, and he takes a strike on the inner half of the plate, and the count is 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 on, both in scoring position, 5 runs in. Pitch, hit in the air, foul. Over to the right side and out of play. And Peyton falls behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. He'll be followed in the Oak Ridge order by Richie Ferreira. Two-strike pitch to Peyton. Pitch was high, but he swung at it, and he fouled it back and out of play, and the count remains at 0-2. Like I said, we've had a really good crowd on hand here. It was really warm when we got here. It's definitely cooled off. It's still March, mid-March. Peyton back in. Here's the 0-2 pitch to the senior. Hits the ball deep. Ball is going, and it is out of here. A home run by Peyton Witter. 3-run score. The Wildcats, Peyton got all of that one, and out of the park it goes. In to score was Cam along with Peyton, and the Wildcats now lead the Halls Red Devils by a score of 10-1. Home run for Peyton Witter, and 11-1 is the score of the Wildcats. Wildcats need 3 outs, and they win the ball game without having to play. As the Wildcats batting now will be Richie Ferreira. Got suddenly very quiet here after a home run. You'd think it would be still kind of buzzing. The Oak Ridge fans have just kind of sat back and enjoyed an 11-1 lead. Peyton Witter with his first home run of the year, and Richie takes the strike, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Richie walked and scored a run in this game. Reached on a fielder's choice, struck out. Takes the ball down low. Yesterday, Warren East hit a home run for the Wildcats. Peyton has 1 today. A lot of extra base hits in this one. I'm trying to make sure I've got everything down. Keeping up the bookkeeping here. Pitch. Richie hits the ball in the air on the left side. Fairly deep, but not deep enough. It's going to be caught by the left fielder for out number 2. And here comes Cy Stevens. Wildcats, very productive inning. 8 runs, I believe, on the board to lead it 11-1. Wildcats have taken advantage of the relief guys for the Red Devils. Oak Ridge trying to go 2-0 in District 3 play in their final year in District 3, at least for a little while. As I mentioned, I've been told that they expect us only to be in District 4 for a couple of years. But we'll see. It might be longer than that. We've been in District 3 for almost 50 years. But for TSSAA decided to get rid of rivalries and teams that we're used to playing. But yeah, we'll deal with it, as that is a called strike, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. As I mentioned, we'll be with Farragut and Bearden, Lenoir City, Hardin Valley, McMinn County, Ray County next year. 1-1 pitch. Inside. And the count is 2-1 to Cy Stevens. Cy in this ball game has a double. He's walked. He's scored a run. And he bats here. I think he might have scored 2 runs, actually. Can't keep up with it. I haven't done baseball in a few months, and Cy takes a ball, and the count is 3-1. 11-1. The Wildcats in the lead here in this inning. Long home run by Peyton Witter, kind of the icing on the cake. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Hit foul over towards the Oak Ridge dugout on the third base side, and the count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, 8 runs in for the Wildcats here in the 6th inning. Mikey trying to, will try to close it out for the Wildcats as Cy takes ball 4. So this inning continues. 2 walks now for Cy, and the batter will be Carson Fagan. Carson was a strikeout victim, had a beautiful sacrifice bunt, and also had a base hit infield bunt for a single. It looks like we're going to have another conference on the mound. Wildcats lead at 11-1. Let's see if we have another pitching change. Surely not. It's about, would it be that the 3rd or 4th pitcher this particular inning. And it looks like we are going to have a pitching change. So I'll put the mic down. Oak Ridge leads at 11-1. We'll be back to Halls in a moment.
For the Red Devils, number 23, Cooper Blanton.
Welcome back once again to Halls. 11-1 Wildcats. Oak Ridge still batting in the 6th inning. Carson Fagan is the batter. I mentioned he had a perfectly placed bunt earlier for a single, had a sacrifice bunt. He also had a strikeout. So officially he is 1 for 2 in the ball game. Right-handed hitter. Wildcats with a runner taking his lead off of first. And the pitch hit well and deep, but is it going to curve foul? And it's a home run. That's a home run for Carson Fagan. So the Wildcats pick up their 2nd home run of the inning. When the ball was hit, I thought it was going to drift off just foul, but it stayed just inside the foul pole down the left field line. And the Wildcats now lead the Red Devils 13-1. 2nd home run of the inning as they celebrate out of the dugout Carson with a long fly. And it's 13-1 Oak Ridge over the Hall's Red Devils. Wow. So Carson with 2 hits in the inning and 2 RBI. And the batter will be Noah Wood. He picked up an RBI his last time. And takes a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2 home runs in the inning for the Wildcats. 3 now on the year for Oak Ridge. They lead it 13-1. Pitch. That's up high. 3 balls and no strikes. At this stage, the Wildcats need 3 outs and they'll come away with a victory. Wildcats trying to pad a few more stats. That was high and tight, and that's ball 4. And Noah's a base runner. We've another opportunity for Warren East, his second plate appearance of this inning. Let's see, he has a double, a single, he's walked, he's scored 2 runs, he's stolen a base, and he is going to be taken out for a pinch hitter, and that's going to be Cam Britton coming in to bat for Warren East. So this will be Cam's first plate appearance. He's scored a run, has a stolen base, has a courtesy runner, but Cam will step in hitting from the right side. 13-1 Oak Ridge. Cam steps in, runner takes his lead off of first, and the pitch. There's a called strike, a little above the belt, and the count is 0-1. 2 outs. The Wildcats have put a ton on the board here in the, I think, was it maybe 10 runs this inning, I believe, as the pitch is up high, and the count is 1-1. I think the Wildcats have scored 10 runs this inning. I don't know that I remember ever seeing a 10-run inning in a varsity ballgame. Do you remember any from last year, Jeff?
No, I don't remember any at all, no.
It's a rarity for sure. Let's not talk about that. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm not even going to say what Jeff said. And I hope it didn't pick up on the mic either. Runner at first. Cam Britton back in. Junior takes one on the inside batter's box for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think Rick's getting ready to go home. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Cam. There's a called strike. That's a pretty pitch that time. And Britton is called out on a strikeout. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mikey Teasley needs 3 outs, and this game will be in the books. The Wildcats lead it by a score of 13-1. We'll be back in a moment.
The Red Devils, number 12, Barrett Watson.
Mikey Teasley begins his 6th inning of work. He has 9 strikeouts. He's given up the 1 run. And it'll be the number 9 hole batting for the Red Devils. This is going to be a pinch hitter. Slightly built person, and he swings and he misses at the first offering, and the count is 0-1. Coach Free will join us after the ball game. We'll hope you'll stay tuned for that. We'll have some maybe some player interviews as well. I know Blake's freezing, but it's the way it is, Blake. That pitch is down low. Mikey Teasley's gone all the way. Yesterday, Cam Welch pitched a complete game shutout. This is not a shutout, but is Mikey trying to complete full 6 innings? There's a swing and a miss, and the count is 1-2. Halls traditionally has been very good in baseball, going to the state tournament several times. I saw Doug Polston here earlier. I think the field's named after him. It is. I saw him walking behind me earlier. And they've had some great teams. He retired from coaching baseball. 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Low and inside. And the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 home runs in 1 inning. A 10-run inning for the Wildcats in the top of the 6th inning. Here's a 3-2 pitch from Mikey Teasley. That hit him. A little overthrow there by Mikey. I think he wanted to get this one started. And, of course, Mikey can't give up any runs this inning to keep it at, well, he can give up a couple runs. It's a 10-run rule. If you're up by 10 after 5, they get the last at-bat since they're, but, you know, we don't want to give up any more than 2 runs here. It's a 13-1 lead for the Wildcats. Runner at first. Pitch is a called strike. The count is 0-1. Red Devils and Wildcats here from Halls. Oak Ridge baseball team will play Coalfield on Thursday. There's a swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2. As I mentioned, we will not be able to broadcast that game. We had originally scheduled to, but lo and behold, the Lady Wildcats are at the state tournament, and they'll play at 5 o'clock that day. There's a strikeout, and that is strikeout number 10 for the Tennessee Vol commit. And that is out number 1 here in the 6th.
First baseman, Amari Lefko.
And the batter now will be Amari Lethgo, right-handed hitter. Let's see what he has done. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Pitch to him is a called strike on the outer half of the plate, and the count is 0-1. Runner at first. He was hit by a pitch. Mikey has 10 strikeouts in the game. Right now he's ahead in the count 0-2 to Lethgo. He'll be followed by Cooper Faust. Runner takes his lead once again off of first. Lethgo, right-handed hitter. Parker situates himself behind the plate. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's a strikeout, and he's going to have to throw him out, and not going to be able. Actually, they're going to say he is out with a runner at first that occupied. He could not hit on down, and that is strikeout number 11 for Mikey Teasley. And they're down to their final out here. 13-1 Wildcats here in the 6th inning. And the batter, I believe, is Cooper Faust. Cooper in the ball game. He hasn't fared too well. He struck out twice. 2 outs, runner at second. Mikey comes to the plate. There's a called strike at the knees on the outer half of the plate, and the count is 0-2. Blake Woody has done our camera work and scoreboard work, his first baseball game. Appreciate him. 1 strike the count. There's one a little bit low. And the count is 1-1. After all these basketball games, my voice is kind of struggling a bit today, but 1 ball, 1 strike. Hopefully he'll be ready on Thursday as the Lady Wildcats go to the state tournament to take on Bartlett, a Memphis area school. Lady Wildcats in the Elite 8, only 8 teams left on the girls' side and the boys' side. We're in the boys' tournament as well next Thursday. 2-1 pitch. Ball's hit hard into center field. That's a solid hit. And they're going to try to score the run. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, but they've got the out at second. The game is over. Oak Ridge has won by a final score of 13-2. 13-2, I think, is the final score as they put the run on the Oak Ridge side. They're so used to putting the runs on the Oak Ridge side, they put that final run. Wildcats win it 13-2 here at Halls High School. Good way to start the district schedule. Oak Ridge now 2-0 with victories over the Hall's Red Devils. The Wildcats now 2-1 on the year. They opened up the year with kind of a disappointing loss to the Hall's Red Devils in a very cold, cold day. You know, my handwriting is not good, but I'm going to try to tell you some of what happened in this game, just player by player. The Wildcats, you put 13 runs on the board, and, we're out in the stands, and my handwriting's not great. But I'll tell you, Warren East had a double, scored a run. He had a single, stole a base, walked. He scored 2 runs in the ballgame. Cam Britton batted, and he was over 1 in the ballgame. Parker Free had an RBI single. He walked. He had a single and an RBI. Let's see, Cam Britton scored, I believe, 2 runs and stole 2 bases as a courtesy runner. Mikey Teasley had a single, an RBI, a fly out to right field, a walk, an RBI, and a double. Cam Welch was, 0 for 2 to start the ball game. Then he had a double and an RBI. Peyton Witter walked, had a single and a home run, a 3-run home run in that big 6th inning. Richie Ferreira had a walk and scored a run. Cy Stevens had a double, walked twice and scored 2 runs. Carson Fagan with a sacrifice bunt, a single, and a 2 RBI home run. Noah Wood also had an RBI in the ballgame. And the Wildcats win the ballgame in impressive fashion by a final score of 13-2. We'll be speaking to Coach Travis Free. We'll also have perhaps some player interviews as well. Blake, good win for the Wildcats.
Yeah, very impressive performance by Michael. We were hitting some good runs, and we were playing very excellent today.
It's a very, very fine game for the Wildcats. I'm going to put the mic down. Music is playing. They'll probably throw us off. We'll get ready for some player interviews. Coach Free usually comes over quickly, and hopefully he'll send some players over here as well. I look forward to talking to them. 13-2, the Wildcats win the ball game. And we'll be back with our post-game show in a moment. Failed to mention the great job on the mound for Mikey Teasley. He struck out, it looks like 11 different batters, gave up 2 runs, only a couple of hits in the ball game, 3 hits, and I think he's going to be our first man maybe that we're going to talk to. It looks like he's heading in this direction. Mikey, are you going to be the guy? There's your mic down there. If you'll stand right in front of me here, and we'll talk about this six-inning win for you against the Hall's Red Devils. I know you're pleased to start the district schedule 2-0.
Yes, sir. Most definitely are. We came out to fight, and that's what we did. We put on a show 2 days in a row, and we continue to keep on doing it.
The first of the game, it was kind of a pitcher's duel between you and what was his name? Fisher, I believe. And then all of a sudden, the bats exploded. Talk about what was working well for you. You had 11 strikeouts, so a lot of things were working. What was working well for you?
My curveball and slider was working good. I had him off balance so I could come with a fastball, and Parker knew when to give him a fastball, and Parker knew when to give him a breaking ball, so that's what we did.
And then the bats just exploded there at the end. A 10-run inning. I can't remember a 10-run inning in a long time. We didn't have one last year. We had some big innings, but not 10 runs. 2 home runs in that same inning. Peyton Witter had one, and Carson Fagan, you contributed with some hits. Talk about this team. Can you get back to the state tournament where you were last year?
Yeah, we most definitely can get back. We got guys on the team that's hard workers, so they're putting in work every day and getting better, and that's what you see the progress from them getting better. Like Peyton, he's working his butt off, and Carson's been working his butt off, and he's doing good. So
The fastest pitch I think I saw you hit was 95. Is that a slow day for you, Mikey?
Against Grace, I had 96. So.
Yeah, I know. I was just joking with you, of course. You've committed to the University of Tennessee. We haven't talked about that. You're still a junior, so you can still go anywhere you want. But why did you decide to commit to Tennessee?
Because I knew I couldn't not see myself in Orange. So I love the energy Tony Vitale coaches with. So I play with the same energy, I feel like.
So you've beaten the Halls twice. You're 2-0. You had a kind of a disappointing game against Maryville, but that's one of those games just kind of flush. As you look towards the rest of the season, how do you see the rest of this year? Can you get back there to the state tournament?
Yes, sir. I think we can. I mean, I don't see us losing very many games this year. And, you know, like I said, we got guys that work hard, so they're going to put in the work to where if we do have a mistake or mess up in a game, they're going to work to get better the next time. So.
Well, Mikey, I appreciate it. Congratulations on the win and the nice double you had as well,
yes,
and
sir,
we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Mikey Teasley. He was the winning pitcher in the ball game today for the Wildcats. Appreciate him. Let's see who else is going to roll my way. I don't pick them. Coach Free usually sends them my way. Looks like we're going to talk to Peyton Witter first. Right there. Just pick up the mic there, and we'll get the camera on you. Carson will be next, I believe. Peyton, let's get a shot on you. Home run, long field. Talk about that.
It was nice. I feel like in the past couple games, kind of had good swings, but nothing really to show for it. So it felt good to finally get a big one.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. Typically, is the hitting ahead of the pitching in the early going in the cold weather games?
Oh yeah, hitting is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and it takes a while to catch up to it. And even when you do get tuned in April and May, hitting is still hard. So it's nice to start to hit again. You know,
yesterday you had a good pitching performance from Cheeto. He pitched a complete game. Today, Mikey got a shortened version, a 6-inning win. Talk about when we're going to see you on the hill.
I'm not sure. I've been first out of the pen the past 2 games, but it's nice when you play 4 or 5 games a week that you have 2 pitchers that can go the whole game. And so we have everybody else ready for Thursday and Friday. So I'll pitch somewhere Thursday or Friday. I'm not really worried, but I'm just nice to have all of us ready to go.
I'm trying to remember if we had a 10-run inning last year. I don't think so. I mean, that inning just kept going on and on and on. You know, what does it feel like to be 2-0 in the district right now?
It's nice, especially after we started out with the loss, and then we had the whole week to sulk in it. So it's nice to come out and go 2-0 in the district.
I asked Mikey this question. I'll ask you the same thing. You all had a great run last year, made it all the way to the state tournament. What's it going to take to get back there again?
Definitely to come together as a team and as a family, and to stick together and to think, you know, when you're hitting, move it to the next person, and when you're on defense, just to help the person right next to you. So.
Are you going to play a little first this year, or are you going to be DH? What's your role this year?
I'm sure it'll be the same as last year, DH most of the time, but when Cheeto pitches, I'll play first base, but mainly DH and then coming out of the pen.
Peyton, good to talk to you again. And every time we talk to you, always good things happen.
Yes,
so
sir. Thank you.
That's Peyton Witter. Let's see. Another big fly guy here. Talk about yours tonight.
I really just got up there swinging for the fence because we were already up by so much. I was like, what can I do? Put the ball in play and let's just pass it off to the next guy, and it flew out there.
This is Carson Fagan, by the way. I didn't introduce you, but when you first hit it, I thought it was going to go foul. Of course, our angle's not good. Did you think it was foul, or did you think it was gone?
Really, when I hit it, I blacked out, saw the ball curving foul, so I really thought it was foul. But when it went fair, man, it felt good.
You didn't hit a home run last year, so was this one of your first home runs?
First home run, yes, sir.
In your first career? Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
I hope
sir.
somebody collected the ball for you.
Yes, sir.
Well, you got a chance to play third. I know you can play various positions. I know when Mikey's pitching, somebody's got to play third. Is that where your role is going to be this year?
Yes, sir. And then second base when he's not pitching.
Okay. Are you? I mean, obviously you got to bat today too, so you're a fixture now in the lineup.
Yes,
for sure?
sir. Yes, sir.
Talk about the district race. You're now 2-0. You beat Halls yesterday. You beat them again today. Great pitching performance. What's it like when a guy like Cheeto or Mikey is out on the hill when you're in the infield? Or what's that like being an infielder?
You really just have to stay behind the pitcher and just keep them up to keep the momentum going, because once they get out of that momentum, it could go downhill. So we just got to keep them in the rhythm.
You pitched some last year. Will we see you again this year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you're 2-0 in the district, and I've asked the other 2 guys here about you had a great run last year. I mean, you went all the way to the state tournament, beat Sevier County in the sub-state, and just, finished runner-up in the region to Farragut, which is no shocker there. But what's it going to take to get over that hump and beat Farragut and maybe be region champs?
We're all going to have to work together as a team and come together as a team to succeed where we want to go. We can't hang our hat on last year. We have to be a new team this year.
Okay, Carson, I appreciate it, and congratulations on the win, and congratulations on your very first home run.
Thank you.
Here comes Coach Travis Free. Coach, I asked Carson, I didn't know this. I knew he didn't hit a home run last year, but I thought maybe at some point in his career he had hit a home run, but that was number one for him, so that's a big deal for him.
The bigger deal is the bunt that he got down that
Oh, yeah.
executed a run. Honestly, to me, those home runs, he got the barrel head out, got the ball elevated on a 300-foot fence, and it went over. Good for him. That's exciting for him. But at the end of the day, the bunt was a bigger play, and the defensive play that he made are all bigger plays than those.
Well, let's back up and let's talk about the game as a whole. You started Mikey, his first start of the year. I believe Cheeto started the Maryville game and last
Correct.
night's game.
Yep.
Mikey came in. He topped out at 95 a couple times today. His velocity is up from last year. It was always in the lower 90s, but I think he said he hit 96 or so. How would you rate him today?
Good. Mikey he's in a different gear and a different level this year. We've had a lot of hard conversations about, what do elite level players do? They carry themselves like elite level players. They don't talk about it. They don't get up in the social media game. They don't snap back and forth with other opponents. When they show up, it's go time, and today it was go time. He only walked one guy that I can remember, gave up a couple hits there in a row with some fastballs that got elevated, but all in all, he was as dominant as advertised.
I had him with 11 strikeouts too. And everything early on in the game that he was hitting was they weren't getting around on him. It was all hit just off to the offside. So his fastball, especially at the high school level, it's hard to catch up with a
Correct.
95 mile per
You
hour.
got to cheat and guess, and so if he throws it for a strike and throws his breaking ball and his slider today I don't think anybody ever gets a hit off of it. It's so good. That's what separates Mikey. That's the difference in people, the spectator that really sees Mikey from the side. Well, it's just a fastball. No, it's not. He's got a breaking ball and a slider that are plus, and then when he's got in the strike zone with those, he's hard to hit. He really is hard to hit. So that was good for him.
Put up a lot of runs, 13 runs. He had a 10-run inning.
Yeah.
And you're right about that bunt. That was a great infield single bunt. He also had a sacrifice, too.
Two things that are getting overlooked in that moment, just like I just told the team. We finally get in a spot with bases loaded. Noah Wood hits a backside hole ground ball that we beat out. We scored a run, first run of that inning. And then all of a sudden we start to pour that on. That was after a sacrifice bunt or drag bunt by Carson. Those little plays transform into 10 innings. Everybody's going to see the 10 and all the doubles and the hits that we got, but that was because we did little things right. And that's what we try to been talking about. Each guy that comes up here, I hope they start sounding like Coach Free, but we're chasing improvement. We're not chasing wins. Everybody wants to talk. Last year doesn't matter. We've got to get better. This team is different. It's a new chapter. It's a new page. We have to be different. It's going to be different, but it's a different thing. There's a target. There's all those things that are different that we're not accustomed to. So we have to constantly chase those things, not the wins.
Coach, I heard some of the media day people, some of the teams were saying that, we got to go after Oak Ridge. We got to, which is something totally different for our Oak Ridge.
It's abnormal for our community, and that's okay. But we have to learn as a coaching staff, as a bunch of players, we also have to learn that that's different. We've never been accustomed to that. So early on, even at Maryville, it was not good. We didn't play good because all of that hype that built up to that. But, here this week we had a long week of practice, and Coach Free breaking it down and being honest with them. It's not about that. It's just about us being better as this group.
Yeah, last year is last year, and you're not guaranteed to get back to the state tournament. You've got to continue to play. You got the same pieces in place for the most part, except for Caden Black.
Yep.
One of the bigger losses, obviously, one of the greatest players that's played in the last 20 years at Oak Ridge. But you come back with this. You got a complete game pitching performance yesterday. You had a complete game, 6-inning game today. Your pitching staff looks solid, and I haven't. This is my first game I've seen. So, but I've seen all the other guys pitch. So you got to feel really good about your staff and your offense.
That's what separates us. Really, is going to be the separating piece. Is just how deep we're going to go on the mound. Even today, we didn't even get to throw Trice. We didn't get to throw Cy, Peyton, none of them. We didn't do that because our starters were so dominant. But that's just going to set us up for the back end of the week, right? So now we've got another tough match. Cofield, I know that they're single A, but it's probably a top 5 team in the state, single A. They got their number 1 pitcher sitting there waiting on us on Thursday. He's 87 to 89 as well. So, like, everywhere we go, right, that's the cool thing about it is there is somebody after us a little bit, which I love. I mean, that's how we're going to get better at the end. That's how we build this story, right? It's pretty cool.
Coach, I had planned to do that ball game, but the Lady Wildcats are playing in the state tournament.
Let's go. I would rather you be there, man. That's great for our community.
Coach, just your final comments on the win today.
Our pitching is great, and we withstand the storm on offense long enough to get some big hits and do some things right. So we're getting closer and closer. The warm weather and a couple games in a row was going to help get this team moving in the direction that we need to go.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Coach Travis Free, the Wildcats win the ball game 13-2 over the Halls Red Devils. That about does it here from Halls. We appreciate Blake Woody for helping us out here. Our next broadcast of Oak Ridge Sports will be on Thursday on the radio, FM 92.7, when the Lady Wildcats take on the Bartlett Lady Panthers. For Blake, this is David Clary. Once again, the final score, Oak Ridge beats Halls 13-2. So long, everybody.